This story was shared by Mountain Man with Mojo on Reddit. He says it took place around 2016 near Escalante, Utah. I took a job guiding canyons in the middle of nowhere, Utah. I guided canyons almost every day of the week, and on off days, usually ran more canyons as well as responded to search and rescue calls, or SARs. One day, a seasoned canyoneer spotted multiple items in the bottom of a very difficult canyon that he was going through, but we never guided it, as it was too complex. He said it was obviously not natural material, and that we should go check it out. So we did. The fellow who reported it could not get to the packs, as if he climbed all the way down to the ground, he would have had to climb out, exerting an enormous amount of effort. Canyon ratings are 1 through 4, A through C, I through V, and can have an extra numeral, PG-13, R, or X to indicate danger. This canyon is rated 3B3X, which roughly means it's a technical canyon. It requires special techniques and rope skills. It might have standing water or pools. It's a full day canyon and has moves that if you mess up, you are highly likely to be severely injured, if not worse. In this canyon, those moves are where you must stem between two walls, which means using opposing pressure, 80 to 90 feet above the ground. This canyon was rarely ever done. The whole season I was there, only one person did it, and he was a past guide for us, the experienced canyoneer that told us to go check on it. Even a weekend where we taught a rescue clinic to experienced canyoneers, no one even tried to attempt it. I'm saying all of this to indicate it requires a high level of technical skill, quality gear, mental clarity, and grit, as well as you have to be in shape. To top this all off, there was a massive storm a day or two prior. All the canyons around us flash flooded. We had to pull trips, and we actually went to the rim of a popular canyon, just to watch the water just explode out of one of the slots. The canyon we were responding to was incredibly tight, and hands down would have flashed. I have read reports of other SAR teams recovering people and gear from canyon flashes. It's not pretty, and in many of the reports I've read, they are buried and cheese grated. The water picks you and your gear up, and bounces you like a pinball down the canyon, covering you with debris in the process. So, we gear up and head out to see what is going on in the reported canyon. We have rescue rigs, an SAT phone as it's an out-of-service area, and enough food and water and emergency blankets for a few people and us. We decide not to do the full canyon, as a rescue from within would be highly complicated due to the high stemming, potential swimmer potholes, etc. So we try to figure out where the old guide stated they spotted them. We rig a rope in a few different locations along the side of the canyon and rappel down into the middle of it. We finally spot them on our third rappel, about a 120-foot drop to the bottom. That was lucky. And this is where it gets wacky. There are 4 to 5 backpacks on the floor of the canyon, partially covered in sand, but not too bad. They're all dry. They're also a popular brand for canyoneering, Imlay Canyon Gear, though they are the smallest and cheapest version. It's practically a Jansport pack with ripstop fabric. Too small for a full-day canyon in the middle of nowhere. Not only that, but they're filled with weird things. Some emergency blankets, bandanas, a shirt or two. No legit gear other than the backpacks themselves. They are located in a space where my shoulders can touch either side of the canyon. Pretty tight, but between the necessary harder sections of the canyon. There's a high stem up canyon. Up canyon is not directly up, it's just towards where you started. Down canyon is where you're going. And one much further down canyon after some down climb moves. Most canyoneers climb over this section by stemming between the walls, otherwise they have to climb down and then back up, exerting much more energy, which is why the old guide could not check on things. We hike a minute or two up canyon. No footprints or anything, but we get to a spot where a tiny fire had been made, right on the canyon floor. Small twigs, tiny branches, nothing big, looks like it was scavenged from what falls into the canyon. But a flash flood had piled through days prior. Then we look further up canyon. 10 to 20 feet further is a piton. A piton is climbing protection that essentially looks like a wedge nail. It was once typically traditional protection, but now operates more in aid climbing and adventure climbing. It's utilized in canyons when there is nothing to build an anchor off of. This particular spot had no rappel or drop hazard near it, and the piton was placed at waist level and was pounded in all the way to its rig. I have been canyoneering for a decade and climbing for 15 years. The fella I was with had even more experience, and we could find absolutely no reason for this. This is when it started getting dark, so we went back to the packs and reascended the rope to the lip of the canyon. We left the packs as they were sandlogged, and we were running out of light to go cross country back to the truck. We report to the sheriff when we return, and I check on the forums. Canyoneers, like other groups, have specific websites where they log trip reports, accident reports, etc., like RopeWiki, Canyoneer Collective, etc. I scour the internet for any reports in the area. Nothing. The sheriff has heard nothing either. Additionally, we were the main adventure pulse in town. Folks doing things would usually stop in. Folks who lost things let us know, since we ran lots of the local canyons. We would regularly keep an eye out for a cell phone, Nalgene water bottle, or rope that people could have lost. No report there either. Absolutely nothing. No idea what happened. To this day, it's one of the oddest things I cannot put together. In the comments, one person speculated that the bags might have been dropped into the canyon, as someone went down after them and only retrieved the essentials. Mountain Men responded by saying that the canyon wasn't very scenic, was very far out of the way, and anyone hiking in that area probably didn't have the equipment to rappel down to the fallen gear. Another commenter theorized that a group of rock climbers, inexperienced in canyoneering, got stuck at the bottom of the canyon. Eventually, they left their non-essential gear and climbed out. The piton was left in there as a way for them to practice. Since they were embarrassed and potentially concerned with littering, as they did leave gear at the bottom of the canyon, they didn't inform anyone. Others theorized that the piton was left there by an unrelated group. So to recap, in the spring or summer of 2016, Mountain Man discovered multiple lightly packed bags at the bottom of a very rough, out-of-the-way canyon. There was a fire recently nearby, as well as a piton. The area had also recently flash flooded. As far as Mountain Men could find, there were no groups there that day, no reports of missing gear, no missing persons reports. So what happened? Personally, I agree with the theory that it was left behind by a group of people who were stuck down there, and only needed to pack out the essentials. I also think it's possible that the bags were thrown down there, and that the piton was left there by an unrelated group. If you have any theories, feel free to leave them below. I'll also link the original Reddit post in the description. Special thanks to Michael Schemmel, Equirep, King Drewski 9000, Peach T2, Space Policeman of Space, Enigma of Ears, and Mountain Man with Mojo. If you'd like to be mentioned in the credits, you can support me on Patreon for any dollar amount, and share interesting findings on the topics I cover, either in the comments or on other platforms. In the description will be a link to my social media accounts, and a link to a Discord I recently set up where I discuss investigations and upcoming videos. If you want to see another mystery video, check out my video on I Feel Fantastic and Terror the Android. Thank you for watching. That's all for this video, and I will see you in the next one.